All right, welcome to today's episode of Decentralized TV here on Brighteon.com, the free speech platform. I'm Mike Adams, the founder of Brighteon, and we have a very special guest for you today we'll introduce here in a moment. First, my co-host, Todd Pittner. Welcome, Todd, to the show today.
Greetings, Mike. Greetings, Mike. Yet another home run for a guest. So good job to you and the producers.
Absolutely. Our audience is going to love our guest today. And I just want to let people know you are enduring some kind of crazy lightning in Florida today, I understand. So if you disconnect, we'll just roll with it, wait for you to come back on.
I'll be okay.
You'll be okay. It's Florida. There's a storm like every afternoon.
That's true.
For whatever reason. Okay. So our guest today is the legendary Dr. Leonard Coldwell, or as he's known, Dr. C, because he has taught millions of people how to overcome cancer and take charge of their health. And the theme today is how to decentralize your life by not handing over your health future to these centralized sick care systems of hospitals and doctors and drugs and pharmaceuticals and everything. So welcome to the show, Dr. C. It's an honor, sir, to have you on today.
Mike, to be with an icon like you is always an honor, and I was so looking forward to it. We are friends for such a long time, but we haven't seen each other for a while. But it's really good to see you again.
Well, it's great to see you, and it's great to have you on the show today. And yeah, we hadn't spoken for quite some time, and I was thinking about you the other day, and I said, you know what, something popped up in the news or whatever. It's like, I got to talk to Dr. C about this. And so, here we are. And I just welcome you on the show. I welcome your knowledge base for humanity. And I'm going to ask you to actually sort of introduce yourself a little bit, because you've done so many things. I don't know what you want to focus on, but what are you best known for?
I'm best known for cancer patient cures. All 7 siblings of my mom had cancer. All 4 grandparents of mine died of cancer. My father died of cancer. My sister had cancer, which I cured in 72 hours. And my mom was supposed to die in 6 months, 50 years ago. When I was around 12 years old, they told my mom with hepatitis C, liver cirrhosis, liver cancer in a terminal state, that she has about 6 months to live maximum. There's nothing to do, nothing to help. And I kind of don't believe, I'm like, Mike, I don't believe in there is no solution. And I was traveling the entire world. Even as a teenager, I learned everything I could and tried it with my mom. And 10 years later, even if she had only 6 months to live, I tried everything, and it gave her another half year and another year and another year. And about 10 years later, she was completely healthy and lived another 48 years after that, completely healthy. And for me, I cannot really understand how a condition, cancer is not really even an illness. Cancer is a condition. It's an accumulation of symptoms. And at the moment where you address the symptoms, you go nowhere. With chemotherapy, radiation, you just suppress the symptoms. That doesn't get you anywhere. You have to find the root cause. I invented originally NAPS, neuroassociative programming systems, and just cured people. I really mean this. I just cured them. And then all of a sudden, I figured out 2 years later, 3 years later, the cancer came back. And I'm thinking, wait a second, something is really, really wrong here. And then basically, I started to find out that the root cause of the cancer were never addressed, never resolved, never dissolved. And I've developed the instinct-based medicine system, IBMS. And the instinct-based medicine system is the science of identifying and eliminating the root cause of every negative result in a human's life. I'm the highest paid motivational speaker. I'm the highest paid personal development speaker. I had clinics for stress reduction, burnout syndrome, management disease in British Columbia, stress-related. And so for me, I figured out that, yes, you can help people for a while. And then I also saw over and over again, you can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink.
So true.
And then I thought, okay, the only person, and that was after about being 30 years, already the most successful cancer patient cure person in the world, that basically you have to take the cancer patient in as a co-partner, as a co-therapist. Then I thought, that doesn't work either, because who made the person sick? The person that made you sick or fat or broke or unhappy is you. So who is the only person that can cure you from being broke, being in a bad relationship, having cancer in the body, having any form of autoimmune disease, which always just means you hate yourself so much or your life that your own immune system thinks you're the enemy. So how can we address this? We can only address this to the person itself. So basically, I started giving seminars. I had over 9 million live seminar attendees in my seminars worldwide. My books are 25 mega best-selling books in 29 languages. And so basically, I figured out if you start helping people to understand, helping people to help themselves, educate people to help themselves, that's the way to health. So at the beginning, first 10, 20 years, I thought, okay, I cure people. I'm the healer. I'm the best there is. And then I got more and more doubt in this entire situation because the cancer came back. So now with the instinct-based medicine system addressing the root cause or not even dealing with the symptoms and enabling the patient to take charge, find their own self, because I believe our instinct is God talking to us. I'm not in organized religion in any way, shape, or form. I believe in God, but that's literally it. And for me, it's just really, really important that people understand where I'm coming from. I believe our instinct is God talking to us. I believe if you really listen to your instinct and you walk your talk and you go with your instinct, you can never be wrong. I mean, I had 66,000 patients personally live. I had over 3.8 million people sending me videos, thank you letters from curing themselves from cancer through my books. The most famous one, originally 18 years ago, was The Only Answer to Cancer. And millions of people cured themselves with that knowledge in that book. The new book is The Only Cancer Patient Cure. And because there can be only one cure, people say, oh, how can you be so arrogant? There's the only cancer patient cure. Yeah, there can only be one. Yours.
So
not mine. Yes, sir.
You've already said so many things that are extraordinary, but I just want to mention to Todd, do you see why Dr. C is such a great guest here? Because the answer to cancer is already inside you. And what Dr. C teaches people is how to unlock that. So talk about decentralization. And one of the things that you mentioned, Dr. C, during that introduction there, is that if you have cancer as a person, there is something in your life that you did. There are decisions you made that led to that cancer. And that's the opposite of what modern medicine teaches people. A doctor will say, oh, there's nothing you could have done to not be diabetic or to not have cancer. They'll say, look, your mom's diabetic, therefore it's genetic. You have no control, you have no power. I have the power, the doctor. I have total power and control over your life. Give your power to me, the doctor, and Big Pharma, and then we will treat you but never cure you. And you see, but people believe that crap. They believe that crap. They give their authority over to the doctor and then they die from chemo, right?
Yeah, Mike, they are brainwashed into believing all the stupidity. Dr. Gary Null conducted a 7-year study, Death by Medicine, decades ago, and concluded the main cause of death in the Western world is a medical doctor, and the main cause of illness is the pharmaceutical industry. And this is out there. It's out there for free. Death by Medicine. Look it up, Dr. Gary Null. And when you really understand, okay, guys, be honest. I've been kind of like too fat, about 10, 12 pounds all my life. But I'm not too fat by accident. I have never eaten anything by accident. So if
right.
I think about it and I think, okay, it makes me fat, but that's really good stuff. And so I stand up with it. So, but how can somebody that weighs 400 pounds say, oh, I never really eat anything, but I want to live my life the way I lived it until now with the tarts and the cake and all the hot dogs and stuff like this. But I want to lose weight and I want to be skinny, but I'm fat because it's genetic. Wait a second. It's genetic that you eat like a pig. Excuse me if I don't want to really hurt anybody here, but you don't get fat by accident. And this is really the most important part that people understand. If you get sick, there's a reason for it. You don't get sick. There is no such thing as a genetic illness. You can have a genetic disposition. But look at it. 86 people in my gene line, my parents, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, 86 people in my gene line died of cancer. 86. I'm 66 years old. I don't have cancer. I will never get cancer. I just got 6 weeks ago, just got my baby son, and I'm completely healthy. And I live a good life. I love my steak. I eat everything. I'm an everything eater. And but you have to find your own way, because
Right.
I get sick if I don't eat all the stuff I really love and crave.
Yeah, but you make informed decisions about what to eat, whereas a lot of people, of course, are being manipulated by the food corporations and the broken medical system and so on. But I want to bring in Todd. So Todd, I know this is the first time you've spoken with Dr. C. What's your reaction to what you just heard for the first time?
Well, first of all, if I may summarize, who made you sick can also cure you, and that you is you. Do I have that right? Is that
Absolutely
basically the gist? So, what reconciled with me is when the boogie virus became a thing, and I took a deep dive into this, and I believe with all my heart that you can't catch a virus. And I believe that the terrain theory is superior to the germ theory. So what hit me as you were talking about this in the terrain theory, when we get sick, it is our body detoxing. It's just doing its job, the job that God gave our body to be able to rid ourselves of the toxins. So there are many ways that we self-tox, right? Toxins are good. They taste really good. They're the nicotine is excellent. The booze is fantastic. It gives, but what we're doing is we're just committing a little bit of a suicide mission every time that we consume these things that are not, that our body can't reconcile, that isn't natural. Have you ever done the comparison between the germ theory and the terrain theory? Because that everything became clear to me when I stumbled upon the terrain theory, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I think I get that. I believe that, but I don't know. Who the heck am I, Doc?
First of all, the germ theory is complete BS.
Yeah.
Nothing is more absurd in itself, because they injected people with all kinds of germs and they never got sick. And hundreds or thousands of people. That doesn't even work. A virus doesn't even exist. And guys, you can do with it whatever you want. There is no such thing as a virus. There are 4 court orders that told the pharmaceutical industry, prove to us that you have that virus, that you even can calibrate a test, and they are still in default of the court because they don't have a virus. There's no such thing as a virus. In all these hundreds of years, so-called modern medicine, which is kind of Neanderthal medicine, I can't really explain that, but it's completely absurd. There is no such thing as modern medicine. Modern medicine is when I saw in Africa a lady being pregnant, working on a field, all of a sudden stopped, digging a hole, getting down on her knees, popping the baby in the hole, giving the baby to the grandma, and start working, and is completely fine and healthy. The baby is completely fine and healthy. But back to, you're absolutely right. What they call a virus is a detoxification process. If the cell is toxic, it cleanses itself. It builds it back, throws it back out so that it gets out of the cell. So now the modern medicine looks at this, or the scientist, and says, oh, there's all these bags. What are all these bags? And now we are doctors, we need to know what they are. So if we tell them we don't know what they are, they don't believe us anymore. So we come up with something and say that's a virus, which of course, it means poison, nothing else than poison. And of course, it's poison because the cell just detoxified itself.
And in the terrain theory, that virus is an exosome. And as I was told about this, it's kind of like your body when it knows there's a bunch of toxins in, they send into each cell a garbage man, and he goes in and he sweeps and he puts it into that bag. And then he blows a whistle. Literally, this happens in your body, everybody. He blows a whistle, and then your body orchestrates this beautiful way to take out the trash. Your largest organ in your body is your skin. That's why you sweat. You hack and hawk. You blow your nose. This is just that trash bag of the cell that's cleaned out of the toxins now in your system to expel. So what's the secret? As I understand it, the secret is to do what grandma told us to do. Get some rest, drink your fluids, have some chicken soup for the soul, and give it a little bit of time and you'll be back to normal in no time. Yes?
Absolutely. So basically, we are born perfect, and then they start messing us up. It starts with our mind. Harvard University conducted a study and concluded up to the age of 18, we heard 184,000 times, no, you cannot do that. It's impossible. You're too small. You're too big. You're too tall. You're too dumb. You're too whatever, but you can't. So we are conditioned to believe we can't. We are conditioned to believe we are losers. My very first book that I wrote when I was 14 years old, still a bestseller today, is called You're Born to Win. Because I believe in people. I believe you're born perfect. You have the most dangerous 9 months in a human's life behind you in the mom's womb. That's the most dangerous time in your life, believe me. And then you are born. And when you are born, and the moment you are born, there are billions of microbes attacking your little body and fungi and whatsoever. And your little body just says, so what? I don't know.
That's awesome.
That's the point. And that's why we really need to see our own greatness. In my motivational seminars, and I trained for nearly all the Fortune 500 companies and so on, I teach people to get up in the morning, look into the mirror, march to the mirror, like Superman, like a cape is weighing behind you. And you look into the mirror and you say, wow, I am somebody. And that's how you start your day. Your hair is standing up, you look really wild, your eyes are hanging down, okay? But you are mentally awake, you're mentally alert. You tell yourself you are somebody. And I tell my seminar attendees at least 15 times a day, you slap your chest, your hands on the chest, open your arms, and you say, I am somebody. And the second motion creates emotion. So that means that the moment you move stronger, you move more convinced, more forward, you will be feeling that same way. That's like, how does a depressed person look like? They look down, they just breathe up high in the chest, in the bronchial part. There are no lungs, there are no lung bubbles, there are no air bubbles, there's nothing. Of course, you feel bad because you're suffocating yourself to death.
Right. I love what you just said there. Motion creates emotion.
I love that.
And your body acts it out, and then your mind makes it real. But I want to add something to what Todd was just saying, and also then about the germ theory. So Dr. C, over the last 10 plus years, 11, 12 years, I guess, I've been running a mass spec laboratory. And so we test foods for things like, heavy metals and also for glyphosate and pesticides and so on. And we have a microbiology section in the lab where we incubate and test foods for bacteria. So, living cell organisms, you can see them under a microscope. They have a cell wall, they have a nucleus and so on, E. coli or salmonella, what have you. Well, at one point, someone told us we should look into PCR equipment to test for viruses and bacteria. So we had, I'm not going to say the name, but a major manufacturer of PCR equipment came to visit us to try to sell us on their PCR equipment. And I sat down with them and I asked them, I said, okay, that's great. So how do we know the quantity of the virus that your instrument detects in the food? And they said, well, it doesn't detect quantity. So I'm like, you mean it's just positive, negative? Like, yeah, it's just positive or negative. Well, how do you know if that's dangerous? If you just have one little shred of one little protein sequence in a vat of food, how could that be dangerous? Well, it's just positive. FDA says you can't sell that food. I said, well, wait a second. Also, what about external standards? Because if I'm testing food for lead, I have a standard of lead, and it's got lead in solution in nitric acid typically. And I run that in the machine. The machine says this is what lead looks like. This is 100 micrograms per milliliter or whatever. And I said, so what standards do I use for testing for viruses? And they said, well, there are no physical standards. You download them in a library. I'm like, what? I download them? Are you telling me I'm downloading viruses over the internet and that's what the machine is seeing in the food, but it can't tell me how much it sees? And they're like, yeah, that's how it works. I'm like, not interested. It's all a fraud. It's a total fraud, Dr. C. All this food testing of viruses, it's a fraud.
It's a fraud. But also, if you have bacteria, what is bacteria eating? Bacteria is eating the decay. Bacteria is not eating, under normal circumstances, healthy flesh. It's just, that's why they put maggots on, in the olden days, they put maggots on open wounds, because the maggots only eat the decay. They don't eat the healthy flesh. And so I have seen it over and over again. I traveled the entire world to find a cure for my mom. I mean, literally the entire world. I lived with gypsies an entire summer to learn about their healing, natural healing techniques. I was 4 months in Nigeria with an African witch doctor to learn about what's going on there. And I was in Brazil, and because of my martial arts, I was all over Asia anyway. And I learned very, very simple, like people that do not care about illness don't get an illness. You have these hypochondriacs that, there's something in the air. I smelled something. Do you know when the flu wave starts? When the advertisement for flu medicine starts.
Right.
They show this poor guy.
Right.
He drinks this whatever drink, and then he's fine. But this is the time where the flu wave starts. So the flu or the cold is nothing else, as Todd said, detoxification. Your body is so highly toxic and needs to get rid of the stuff, and then you get the so-called flu or cold. It's not an illness, it's a detoxification process. Vomiting, diarrhea, sweating, whatever it might be. It's just detoxification. Just give the body 4 liters of water or a gallon of water a day with half a teaspoon of pink salt in it, and you are absolutely fine. Just keep on drinking. You don't need any of these weird medicines and things like that.
Let me give out your website. It's drleonardcaldwell.com. I'll spell it for you. That's DR for doctor. Can you show my screen? DR Leonard Coldwell, COLDWELL.com, right? So drleonardcaldwell.com. And you got a lot of articles here and links to, books and videos and things like that. So I just want to make sure we get your website out there for people. And what is this Dr. Coldwell Opinion TV?
The Dr. Coldwell Opinion TV is, I created a series like, I want to kind of do something similar with you if you're up for it. I had a subject on literally everything that the people could ask. I don't want to make money on sick people. I have enough money. I make my money with industrial stuff, with seminars. I made $5.1 million in one day with seminars with 81,000 people in one seminar. I don't need to make money on sick people, and I don't want to make money on sick people. Like you, with Mike is creating this wonderful university, which I will supply anything he wants me to for free.
We'd love that. We'd love that. Yeah.
And Mike, for me, the Dr. Coldwell Opinion TV was kind of like having for every subject, like you have cancer, like you have marital problems, because there's no difference, Mike. If you have cancer in the body, cancer in a relationship, cancer in your self-esteem, cancer in your wallet, cancer in your career, it's all the same thing. It's in you. The root cause is in you. You have to find out why you destroy your relationship, why you hate money, why you are afraid of having money, because everybody can have money. I was bankrupt about 7-8 times in my life. Every time it gets faster to make the money back. And it just really it's really important for people to understand that they can do it themselves. So I had for every part of a human's life, I had a specific show or video out there. We had last year a guy that they got into our company was a CIA, Yassin Najjar, a Muslim that destroyed all of our 40 years worth of work.
What?
Wow.
Everything. He was my webmaster, and his mother was my secretary for 8 years. So they had access to all my passwords. They had access to everything, and completely wiped me out indirectly. And all this, the library of life got completely lost. I had 1,900 videos on every part of life that you could just put in the search engine, and marital problems or self-confidence problems, stomach problems, because stomach problems is just you cannot digest something in your life. That's all. It's not, it has nothing to do with digesting the food. I mean, yeah, if you used to eat a lot of bad stuff and have friends like me, like Jim Beam and Johnny Walker, and, so of course you have digestive problems. But basically you need to really understand that we are born perfect, and we stay perfect until we let them mess us up, or we mess ourselves up.
And what's amazing is the level of brainwashing that happens to all of us. Brainwashing about, we already talked about the germ theory, brainwashing about science and evidence and authorities, and only your doctor can cure you. And medicine only comes from a pharmacy, nowhere else. But they don't tell you, well, gosh, that ivermectin that was found by a Japanese researcher in the dirt. It's a dirt molecule. Okay. And oh gosh, that aspirin that comes from tree bark, and all this stuff, the cholesterol medicine, actually it's a perverted twisting of something that comes from red yeast rice. And they don't tell you that though, right? It's all lies, man. They just want to control you and take your money while you keep getting sick. It's incredible.
You know what to do? Since vitamin E helps with cardiovascular problems, as we all know, so they created an artificial vitamin E, made a chemical vitamin E, did all the testing with a chemical vitamin E, and of course it didn't work because chemicals, artificial elements cannot work in our body. We need nature. That's why they try the genetically modified organisms. That's why they have all this Monsanto. That's why they have all this bad stuff. But hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, I think it's out there for 60 years or something like that.
Yes, long off patent.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's deadly,
So fun, like 1 billion doses have been given to people for, like you say, maybe 60 years. And then as soon as COVID hits, all these science journals say, oh, ivermectin, it's so scary and dangerous, don't take it. It's just, I mean, Todd, we've covered this so many times on this show, but the establishment is nothing but lie after lie after lie about money. What is money? The dollar is not money. The dollar is counterfeit currency. It's not money. And the pharmaceuticals are not medicine. It's just endless lies, isn't it?
You know why? Because lies are very, very profitable.
Well,
for the
Druid, control people,
for the Druid Babylonian bastards. But I do have to say, doctor, excuse me. I do have to. You just seem like a dude that can hang with, and
I am this dude. I hope so.
Good. So, Doc, I read on your website something that just absolutely made my day, and it warmed my heart. Gave me some hope. And I like smoking hopium,
I miss the hope, believe me.
Yeah, and I read that coffee is anti-aging and prevents dementia, I think. Please confirm if that is true, and if it is not true, please lie to me and tell me that it is true. Go.
So I drink about 8 to 12 cups of coffee a day.
Yes.
So 66 years old, my brain is kind of still working, I hope. You never know yourself. The others figure that one out. But coffee it's a life stimulant. It has nothing to do with caffeine and pops you up. This is 20 minutes. That's the funny part. People say, "Oh, I cannot sleep if I drink coffee." It's 20 minutes in your system and it's completely out of your system. So that's what you really need to understand. But first of all, nothing that is natural is really damaging to your system. And if you start throwing up, like from Jim Beam or Johnny Walker, it's all natural in my opinion. They made it so. But the thing is, Todd, coffee is wonderful. It really helps you, and nicotine cures all the problems from the deadly shot, from the death shot. My new book is coming out called Kill Shot, a vaccination assault was a deadly weapon. And I just need to cut it down. It had 2,000 pages, and I have to make 200 out of it. But the thing just is, basically, and nicotine does not make you addicted. That Harvard confirmed this. It's a poison that they put in the paper of the cigarettes that makes you addicted.
That's right. That is exactly right. 100% true. The nicotine itself is not addictive.
If you smoke the nicotine with a bong, you're good.
No, just like tobacco plants, like the Native Americans smoked tobacco. They were not addicted to them.
Right.
No, and that's the gum, the nicotine gum or the nicotine patches, 7 grams. Within 6 days, it kind of like normally reverses all the so-called COVID symptoms,
That's right.
these kind of things. And it's like a sugar cane. If you have organic sugar cane and you juice it and you drink it 21 days every day, in my experience, the cancer is gone.
Wow.
I used to drink a lot of raw sugar cane in South America. When I lived in Ecuador, you could just go to like a roadside stand and they would have sugar cane and a juicing machine right there. Like a gasoline powered heavy duty grinder, because sugar cane's pretty tough, you know?
Yeah.
And they just grind it and you get the sugar cane juice, which is green, as you know, Dr. C. Sugar cane juice is green, okay? And it's a little bit grassy, obviously amazingly sweet, but it's filled with nutrition. It's a remedy.
And it cures cancer, provenly. There's not, see, everything I say, because they try to wipe me out. I mean, I have eight attempts on my life. I had probably more.
Wow.
I don't know of. I mean, I have my car bombed. I still have a bullet in my body, but who cares, you know? So you just get better bodyguards. But the thing just really is, you need to really, if you really go with your instinct, that's why I called it instinct-based medicine system. Because my grandma was 55 years a midwife and an emergency nurse. And she always said to me, "Oh, if I had the feeling I can help this person, I helped them," and they always recovered. And I'm thinking, "You had the feeling?" She said, "Yeah, I felt I can help that person."
Wow.
And that's when I got started with it.
Hey, doctor, I was fascinated when I was doing a little bit of research, and you kind of introduced your history with your mother when she was sick. And I would love for you to unpack your personal discovery of acupressure, and tell us about putting your hands on your mother's stomach, and the fact that what you just said was your instinct, something in you was saying that you should do that. Can you share that story with us, doctor?
First of all, you need to imagine it's like we all have a certain amount of, and everything is frequency and vibration in general. So we have a certain amount of frequency, and if we are in this frequency, we are absolutely fine. Sometimes we wear ourselves out and our frequency goes down. So now we need kind of like a jump cable. It's like your battery in your car is dead. So now you take another car with a good battery, you have a jump cable, get a jump start, and you keep on going again. So we all have this energy. If you everybody just do this for a while, you feel the energy building up, not so fast. The energy is building up in the middle of your hands, and just focus on it for a moment, and you will feel that there is an energy ball building up. And so this is the energy that we all have all the time. They call it chi, and they call it aura, or whatever it might be. You have these 7 meters of aura around you. That's how you know that somebody's behind you without knowing it. You know, you walk the streets and all of a sudden you know there's somebody. And this is basically the frequencies, the vibrations, the auras, the energy levels coming together. So the moment you put your hand, and it's like with everything. There are some people that have an unbelievable talent for physical healing or healing by a transformation of energy. Mm-hmm. And later I learned, since contemplation leads to reality, visualization is BS, forget about it. Contemplation means you are in the picture, you experience this like it would happen if it's really happening. So they teach in these stupid seminars, oh, visualize yourself in your dream car. Now you see yourself driving this car, and your brain knows you cannot see yourself. So the brain thinks you must talk about somebody else.
This is like a third-person point of view is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's dissociated. You need to be associated. You cannot watch the movie. You need to be in the movie. So you need to see yourself in the car, have the hands on the steering wheel. You might see yourself a little bit in the rear view mirror, or you see the hood of the car, and you feel the seat. Feeling is a big thing. You feel the seat, and you smell the leather. And this car will be coming true in your life. I guarantee it.
Wow. Multimodal consciousness expression is what I call that. Yeah, you're talking about, you have the kinesthetic, you have the olfactory, you have the visual, and sometimes the auditory and the emotion of it. And that's what makes it real. That's really powerful. And what I like about what you teach, Dr. C, is that it's more than just, nutrition or foods. This is about revolutionizing your life and understanding the interconnectedness beyond mind body, actually. It's about the whole person, the holistic experience of life, and how you resolve the problems that lead to all these symptoms, which are given names like diseases, like hypertension or hypotension. Okay, you can label it whatever you want, but what's underneath it all? It comes back to the whole person. And that's what you're teaching.
And see, let's say somebody has diabetes. It means not enough sugar in their life, not enough sweetness, not enough self-love in their life, not enough love in their life. So you have to really just dig for example, you have I have a miniature fly bothering me. So the thing that really is, if you have a feeling for something, if you have cravings for something, like a pregnant woman has cravings for something, she has cravings because the body just needs these ingredients to build a little fetus, to build a little baby. That's why pregnant women have these partially absurd cravings. If you have a craving, if you have a craving for a chocolate, you can eat chocolate, and nothing will happen to your weight or to your health as long as you stop when the cravings are gone. So, but what we do is we open this thing, and while it's open, let's eat it all. That's what
the entire chocolate cake. Yeah.
Needs to go.
Hey, doctor, you touched on something earlier that I'd like to delve into, and it was about fear. And I really feel, and Mike, you and I have talked about this right now, I feel that there is a spiritual war, and that the demons out there feed on our fear. I think that is their food. Our fearful aura, somehow they consume it. And that's why they work so hard to be able to control the media, control everything that strikes fear in our hearts. And you said something that you don't fear anything. And people who are not fearful are not afraid. I know that sounds kind of like, yeah, no kidding. But if you think about that sentence, people who are not fearful are not afraid. So shouldn't we work on ourselves to literally just stare fear down and just say, what's going to happen to me? I'm not afraid. I'm not going to feed the demons anymore, my fear. Doctor.
That's what I do in my motivational seminars. People that leave, Professor Dr. Lange, the head of the Charité in Berlin, most famous hospital in the world, said, my colleague Dr. Coldwell is the only one, when he leaves you from a seminar, you grow every day more and every single day, because he teaches you to grow. He teaches you to understand. And this is basically, when I see this motivational stuff, rah, 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 and yeah, jump up and down, and this is the biggest BS in the universe. When I talk to you for an hour one-on-one, you're the strongest person you have ever been, and you will go from that moment on because you know who you are.
Mm.
See, the moment you know who you are, nothing can stop you anymore. I was 9 years in a row world champion in full contact martial arts. I had to fight 2 weight classes higher because in my weight class, nobody went in the ring with me. Every time I jumped in the ring, I said, it's a good day to die. Because it is, if you give it all or you don't. You don't just survive. You don't go in the ring to survive. You don't go in the ring to play. You go in the ring to win. And since I grew up in the hotel restaurant business, my parents invented the discotheque, the nightclubs, the real, BG, Sun Travolta kind of a thing. And I'm only 5'8", and I was with 14 years already the bouncer for my parents because I had no fear. And I know the taller they are, the harder they fall. So the most important part is, what are you afraid of? What in the world, Todd, do you really have to lose? If you really think about it, you have nothing that you have to lose. You have nothing that just cannot go away anyway. So nobody can take it from you. If you don't give it to people, it's like consent for the government. Don't give anybody consent. They can do nothing to you.
Amen.
But the thing that really is, why being afraid? Let's say I have a birthday party in 2 weeks outside. And now I start worrying about the weather. Oh, what happened to this rain? What happened if it rains? Besides, I'm really attract the rain by completely focusing on the rain all the time. Do I change anything? No, if it rains, it rains. So I have a tent there. I have a backup. So why be afraid of what? And so it's really important. Nobody can take anything away from you because we are all energy. Our only reason for living is personal growth and development. There is no other reason, whatever these clowns are saying. Personal growth and development is the only reason for living, and then you take the soul potential in your next life and move on. So the thing just really is, and by the way, it's so important to say, you are absolutely right. Demons or evil people, negative people live from fear, from worries. That's why like Catholic people that pray to wooden figures, they made to Mother Mary, they take all the energy away from God. You can only pray to God. That gives God energy, like fear and evil gives the demons, the negative people, energy. Like the Bidens in this world and stuff like that, the sniffer.
Oh, that reminds me. I have to ask this question, Doctor. I read on your website that fluoride exposure during pregnancy increases the risk of cognitive retardation. And so logically, I thought then fluoride exposure during pregnancy is therefore responsible for liberals? Doctor, does that logic hold true?
Yeah, I haven't figured that one out, but thank you for telling me.
I think we've nailed it together.
Yeah, we nailed it. They must have a lot of toothpaste too with fluoride in it.
But Todd, I mean, I know I get it. It's a joke, but I would add that, stupidity knows no political party right now. It seems to be a universal thing. I mean, think about how stupid it is for people to hand over their power to all these fake authorities that have brainwashed them into believing that they themselves are worthless and that they have no solutions within themselves. I mean, every day, and I imagine, Dr. C, you get this question too, but people ask me all the time, how do you get so much done? How do you do what you do? How did you build this business? And I'm like, I just don't waste time doing stupid things. I don't know. How can I not do? I mean, I don't understand how people give up so much voluntarily. They want to just watch TV all day, or they want to spend their life on a cruise ship all the time, eating processed junk food, which is just the worst thing. And it's like, do something with your life.
First of all, the most important part is do not let yourself get put down by energy drainers. There are these people that talk to you for half an hour, then they leave you, and you feel like you haven't slept for 5 weeks.
Vampires, that's what we call them.
Vampires, energy vampires. And this is basically what's really, really important. You need to stay away from losers. I have an entire chapter in my book, The Only Answer to Cancer, or The Only Cancer Patient Cure, where I teach you how to get rid of the ones that have to go. This is what I do with my seminars. The first moment, say, sit down with these people and say, write down a list of the ones that have to go.
Good
Because
point.
you don't have the strength for 10 losers. You cannot even pull one loser out of the mud because they don't want to. The problem is, that's coming back to what I said at the beginning. You can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. And
Yes.
you can show all these losers, like Mike is an icon in teaching and educating people. I'm more the type that grabs their neck and shakes them until they finally get it. But the thing just really is, we are teaching from the inside out. We're building people up. Mike is a people builder. All these other people are people destroyers, these so-called motivational trainers or personal development trainers. And then you have all these people that teach you how to get rich. And when their book reaches Barnes and Noble, they have filed for bankruptcy or are in jail already. All these people that have never done anything in their lives.
No, Dr. Z, this is such a funny thing, because when, the whole, I've heard these motivational speakers over the years, and here's the way it often goes with the ones that are not holistic like you are, but they'll say something like, oh, you have the power of your mind, to alter the universe and create whatever reality you want. And then you're like, so how should I use it? And they're like, make sure you get a new car. And I'm like, that is your vision, is a car? You said I could create the whole universe. And you just want a freaking car? How small-minded can you be? But that's what it was like. It was like they were teaching people to live in a big home with a jet ski or whatever, but to be shallow in their life. They missed the picture. What about your health? What about your family? What about your mission in life? The passion for being human, for God's sake. Like, none of that mattered. It was just like, let's have a car. Give me a break.
But they also put in the order link. Always remember that. There's a link for this car.
Yeah.
You can order it on their website.
You order before midnight tonight.
I just can't believe anybody would be that shallow. It's like, I agree with the first part. We do have incredible power. We are powerful divine beings with, consciousness, creation potential, and projection, and the ability to uplift ourselves and those around us. Not to be time vampires, but to be nourishment for the people around us, right? We have all that potential. How can we not use it in a big picture way? I mean, if we can change the world, let's change it for the better. Let's empower so many people to take charge of their lives and to cast off the shackles of these centralized governments and big pharma and death hospitals, homicide centers that they call hospitals. Cast that to the side, man, and be human.
Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. Doctor, I want to run one other thing by you.
Yeah.
Because I believe in the NPC theory, the non-player character theory. I just literally think there are two species, in this world. There's those of us who can critically think and those who can't. And what I've learned through the Boogie Virus adventure is that I don't care. I mean, even people in my family, it's like you can lead an NPC to truth, but you can't make them think. Right? They just don't critically think about anything. So I have learned, and it's on the heels of what you just said, I am so much happier when I don't give a crap whether they think through this lie or not. I would rather just go look for more people like myself out there, people like you and Mike and others who are watching this, other playing characters, because I believe there are so many out there, but I don't know. We have our own operating realities, our neighbors, our colleagues, our family members. But man, it sure feels lonely sometime when you just are the uncle nut job around the Thanksgiving table that believes in these conspiracy theories, Doctor.
But the most important part is never give up hope, because there are people like us out there. How do we meet? How do people like us meet? We have never met. And how do we meet? We meet through Mike. How do we meet through Mike? Because like attracts alike. So Mike attracts me, I attract Mike, Mike attracts you, and now we are talking.
We're dining in Ocala. I'm coming up.
Come up. I have a wonderful 100-acre horse farm with all animals in the universe.
Oh my gosh, I'm there.
but the thing just really is, I start all my seminars explaining people success is always a result of effective team play. Nobody makes it alone. What about your wife, your best friend? What about your child that takes all of this? What about the cleaning lady that makes it possible that you have a nice, clean office?
Mm-hmm.
So all of it, when some people say, oh, I'm a self-made millionaire. Oh, no, you're not. And so that's kind of like what's really important to me. Friendship is the most important element to me.
Mm.
I trained for most of the Fortune 500 companies, the CEOs. I created the 33rd richest man in the world, Dr. Reinfeld Pohl. I created a company that makes 57 billion a year net profit for the last 34 years. And so for me, I have seen if you just pop out the others, I call them the losers. See, I start my seminars with hello champions. And people call me back, hello, Dr. C. But if you hear one of my, you will figure out that there's about 12 million people yelled, hello, Dr. C.
Wow.
So for me, I believe in you. Because if I don't believe in you, I cannot talk to you. Because then you are a waste of time. So you are somebody that smiles. You are somebody that has a question, that thinks about the question. Then you have these idiots. Oh, may I ask you something? Okay, what's your most favorite color? And what's your car? You know, how many miles do you have on your car? And you look at these people and you think, my brain just exploded for your really competent question. That's too much. The color of my car was too much. So if you stop wasting time, if you start really focusing on the people. When I was young, and I knew I can cure cancer in 3 weeks, not a joke. If you don't have any form of medical pre-murderous treatment, I can every cancer in 3 weeks if you do whatever I say.
Pre-murderous treatment. That's a really good term, by the way. Yeah. Like you're talking about chemo and radiation. Yeah.
Chemo radiation, yeah. Pre-murder by the medical profession.
That's right.
Or surgery. They take out your lymph nodes, Mike.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Breast cancer, your lymph nodes are your physical immune system. You have 4 times more lymph liquid than blood. So now they take it out. Why do you need your immune system when you have cancer? Their logic is you die anyway. So do you know how they know how long you have to live? On the amount of chemo they give you and the amount of radiation
That's
they
right.
give you.
They know. Yeah, because they're killing you.
But nobody dies of cancer the last 43 years.
No, and we should, I mean, first of all, let me say this has been an amazing conversation already. I can't believe that it's already been nearly an hour, but we need to think about wrapping this up just to be respectful of your time, Dr. C. But we obviously have to do this again. And I really I would love to work with you at Brighteon University with your courses, you know, to help get them out to perhaps a different audience than what you normally reach, you know, through our universe of content. I think it's a very inspiring message. But what I love about what you teach, Dr. C, is it is a holistic revolution of the self and understanding that you can't cure a symptom until you treat the person that gave rise to that symptom. And I think you're 100% right on. It's like if you have a yard of grass and you don't water it and the grass turns brown, a doctor will come along and say, I can treat that, and they'll spray it with green paint instead of watering the lawn, you know? So they'll call it like Brown's grass disease, you know? Instead of just, you need water, just drink some water. But is there anything else you want to add, Dr. C, to wrap this up today?
Yeah, basically, guys, there is a root cause for something. If you have a symptom, the cause is in you somewhere. You have to look in the inside. What causes this? Why do I do this? Why do I overeat? Why do I even smoke? I know it's bad for me. Why do I smoke? Why do I eat all this bad stuff? And so we always have to ask ourselves, what can I do? Why do I do this? What do I try to achieve? What emotion do I try to fulfill? What emotion do I try to cover? Lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence. And we need to just look into the inside. And whatever you're lacking, you can find it. It's there. There are great teachers out there like Mike that you just need to look for it. When I have whenever a patient has specific questions about something, I send them to Mike's website because I'm not that type. I know these things in general, but this is really that's not my world. Mike is a scientist. I'm just somebody that has a lot of fun with his patients. So for me, it's really important that people understand you cause the problem, you're the only one that can resolve it.
That's right. Take ownership of where you are and how to resolve it. And you don't need all these external forces to seize control over your metabolism. But Todd, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No problem. Doctor, if you had just one elevator ride lasting 60 seconds with a group of open-minded young adults, let's say, what are 3 strategies that you would suggest helping them avoid cancer?
That's only 20 seconds per strategy, Todd. That's a really tough call right there.
First of all, if you're congruent with yourself, you cannot get an autoimmune disease. It's not possible. An autoimmune disease means that your immune system sees yourself as the enemy and tries to wipe you out. So if you're congruent with yourself, if you live yourself, that's why my system is called instinct-based medicine system. Find who you really are, live who you really are. Don't do what other people say, what other people think. Don't live in expectations of other people. The second part is do not live in worries, doubts, and fears, because this is how you get cancer. Your stress is the main cause of lack of energy, and lack of energy is the basis of every form of illness, every form. Cancer is chronic stress, chronic lack of energy. So that's meaning living in fear, whatever it might be, the job, the mobbing, the beating husband, whatever it might be. My formula for success is very simple. You get up one more time than life throws you down, and you do whatever it takes to achieve your goal. That's all it takes.
Wow. This has been amazing, Mike.
Yes. Don't you feel like, this is such a privilege to be able to share this time with you, Dr. C, because you're just in answering our questions, you're actually giving a self-improvement seminar right here,
Yep.
in a sense. And I feel really inspired from listening to you. And I want to thank you.
Fantastic to hear, because see, that's all I live for. To empower people, because they told my mom when I was 12 years old, you're going to die. There is nothing you can do about it. Nobody ever recovered from liver cancer in a terminal state. There is nothing. And I said, there is no way. My grandmother always said, God gives you a cross that's heavy as much as you can carry it, but it's not heavier than you can carry it. It will not be lighter either, but you can carry it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Well, God bless you, Dr. C, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate you. It's been
Thank you for having me, Mike, and thank you for all the great stuff you're doing on a continuous basis. You give a lot of my patients that I send to your websites a lot of information that I don't want to give them. Most of it I don't even can. And you're just more detail-oriented than I am. And, Mike, to call an icon like you, my friend, that's something big.
Well, to call me an icon, that's unexpected. No, look, I'm just like you. We're just here serving humanity in the best way that we know. This is not an unusual thing to do, is to just try to help your fellow human beings. That shouldn't be weird, is my point, right? Shouldn't be. That should be normal.
Yeah, it shouldn't be iconic, but yet it is.
Yeah, but I appreciate the compliment. It's just that I feel like how could I not do this? Is just like you, Dr. C, you are expressing who you are through your help of others.
Yeah.
This is what you're here for.
I made a deal with God. I asked God, if you help me to cure my mom, I didn't say cure my mom. I said, if you help me to cure my mom, I want to spend the rest of my life to prevent other children and their parents to have not to go through what my mom and I had to go through.
Wow.
That's right.
That's all it is.
That's right. Okay.
You always keep your word.
Yep.
The only thing you have is your word.
Well, it's extraordinary. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And we're going to take a quick break, and then Todd, you and I will come back with the after party discussion. I know we'll have a lot to talk about, but Dr. C, it's been a pleasure. Let me give out your website one more time. It's drleonardcoldwell.com, and that's drleonard, COLDWELL.com if you want to learn more. And then look for Dr. Caldwell's courses upcoming, I suppose, at Brighteon University. We'll talk about that later and see how quickly we can we can get some of your material for our audience, Dr. C. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today. God bless you.
Thank you for having me, Mike, and great meeting you, Todd.
Thank you. I can't wait to meet you in person in the very near future.
Bye-bye. Visit me.
Oh, I can't wait
1
for
hour.
that too. That's going to be great. All right, we'll be back right after this quick break, folks, for the after party discussion. Todd and I then talk about what we just learned today, so stay tuned. Join the official discussion channel for this show on Telegram at t.me/decentralizedtv, where you can ask questions or offer suggestions of who we should interview next. Also be sure to subscribe to the email newsletter on decentralized.tv, where you'll be alerted about 1 day in advance of each new upcoming episode, before it gets published. On decentralized.tv, you'll also find links to our video channels and social media channels across all platforms, including Brighteon, Rumble, BitChute, Twitter, Truth Social, and more. Check it all out at decentralized.tv. All right, well, welcome back, folks. So, Todd, look,
wow.
The best thing about this show is just the amazing people that we get to meet, isn't it?
Unbelievable. I mean, just unbelievable. And when I think we just had probably the best ever interview, then somebody like Dr. Leonard Coldwell comes on. Coldwell. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Dr. C, as he likes to be called, Dr. C.
Beautiful.
He's like a force of nature, in a sense. And the thing is, just hanging around with him, you feel more powerful. You have a bigger picture about what's going on. It's like he helps set you free from all these sort of constraints that society tries to impose on you.
You know what? I immediately connected with him in kind of a dude way, just the way his demeanor is, he's so easy to smile and he's relaxed, and you just get this energy to where you're like, okay, I don't need to be brittle here. He's a good dude. I can tell,
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a real person, He's not like a fake celebrity or someone who someone feeds him lines to say, this is his philosophy is, he created it, of course, with the inspiration of God working through him, but it's his own course and it's his own approach. And he really has, he's not exaggerating. He has given so many seminars and reached so many people with his books across so many countries. Way outside the United States. He's reached tens of millions of people.
Well, he's impacted so many lives, but so have you, Mike. And I will tell you, you've impacted my life. Let me tell you why.
Oh yeah. Oh, I want to hear this. What is it?
I used to walk around, Mike, with a gold chain with a Bitcoin on it, but not anymore, Mike. Yeah. Not anymore. I walk around with a gold chain with your toothpaste on it because your toothpaste has changed my life, Mike.
Oh, what is that? 12?
I have 36 of these bad boys. I have 3 cases, and I have to tell you, everybody, it tastes so good and it leaves your mouth so refreshed that it's like the first thing that comes to your mind after you brush your teeth is, I got to get a gold chain and put the toothpaste on it. And so I walk around with pride. I go to Publix and I start sneering at people. I've been going into the toothpaste aisle and I just laugh at people and I'll throw grapes at them.
Look, this is funny. This is great. But seriously, isn't it the best toothpaste you've ever tried?
Groovy B. And I'm not kidding you. You had no idea I was going to do this.
No, I didn't know.
I am so hyper complimentary of this. I gave it to my wife, and she was traveling. She's over in Europe right now. And I gave it to her, and she arrived there last night. She used the toothpaste for the first time. She texted me, she said, "Oh my God, this toothpaste is great." So there you go.
It's clean. The ingredients are really good, but I don't want to make this about our toothpaste because, we want to talk about Dr. C.
Well, it's just he was talking about fluoride, and this doesn't have fluoride, so you're not going to turn into a liberal if you have this toothpaste.
Well, what is relevant here, though, and I'm sure Dr. C will appreciate this, is that toothpaste, the FDA seized it when it was being imported into the U.S. from Malaysia, which is where we have it custom manufactured. They seized 7 pallets of the toothpaste. The FDA ordered us to destroy 7 pallets of the world's best toothpaste because the FDA is about destroying things that are good, which, this whole conversation today is about how do we overcome this evil system in essence and fully express our humanity and help other people be more abundant and healthier. Well, the FDA tried to get us to incinerate, and to pay for the incineration of 7 pallets of toothpaste, we had to hire attorneys. We fought with them. They eventually had to cave in because what they did was completely illegal. They claimed it was an unapproved drug, which is totally false. It's only labeled as toothpaste, and there's no claims on it that it's going to cure anything. So
fluoride-free toothpaste.
Yeah. It's toothpaste.
Drug.
So they had to release it. They released it. We got it in. And then I put out an announcement that, I don't know if we can ever get any more. And I think that's why you bought 36 tubes. I guess.
It is. Well, and plus I trusted you. You said that this is the best toothpaste ever. And I'm like, let's get some. And then I do have to say, there was a bit of influence because if one is good, 2 is better. And I thought 36 is even better if this stuff isn't going to be around anymore.
My goodness. Well, I bought 50 myself because I'm sharing them with family and friends, and I don't want to run out. But anyway, back to Dr. C, which is really kind of related to all of this because, Dr. C has also been targeted for censorship and suppression by the system.
I bet.
He's had threats on his life. I mean, you can imagine when you go out there and you start challenging the status quo, especially about cancer. I mean, we didn't even get a chance to cover this, but the cancer industry is over time, a multi-trillion-dollar industry that feeds off the pain and suffering of people and that profits through lies and fraud. The cancer industry is, and by the way, the American Cancer Society is the wealthiest nonprofit in the world. They control tens of billions of dollars. The cancer industry, I think, my theory is that the government supports it as a way to kill off people after they stop working and before they collect too much Social Security. That's my theory.
I agree. And you know what I observed the other day is I was driving around and I was seeing all of these cancer institute type things popping up in these really, really nice buildings, and I'm like, wow, are there really that many sick people? Because it's like that, and these ERs are popping up at every corner too. And I'm like, I can't reconcile that there. I mean, my gosh, when we were young, Mike, how often did we go to the ER? Never or never,
Usually never.
But it's like if you were playing Evel Knievel and you busted a leg or something, maybe your dad would take you in, or maybe he said it himself. I don't know. But yeah, it is just a giant industry, and it's kind of like Vegas. They don't build those huge casinos on winners, right?
Right.
It's the people who bet and lose, and so. I don't know, but yes. And I love the fact that he was in sync with this terrain theory versus germ theory. That was nice validation. Oh yeah. Because I really think that's everything that's wrong with us is us, toxifying our own bodies. And we do it ourselves. So, who made you sick can also cure you. And that you is you, I believe he said.
Right. That's you. Well, exactly. And, the cancer industry, which goes beyond cancer treatment, even as Dr. C mentioned, you can have cancerous relationships, right? You can have cancerous finances. You can have, tumorogenic, foods or dietary choices, or you can have cancer in your society.
Yeah. I mean, tumorogenic neighbors.
Yeah, right. Or what about our whole country? So right now, the United States of America is just riddled with political cancer tumors, right?
Exactly.
They're just, destroying the patient, which is the republic. And so at every level there can be cancers. Cancer is kind of like it's the embodiment of a destructive force that's dismantling or destroying, your body's cells or the cells of a nation, the functioning of a nation. But the thing is, what I love about Dr. C is it's not complicated to reverse cancer. It's really not. And I've heard this from Chinese medicine practitioners over the years as well. one very famous Chinese medicine teacher, he laughed when people would say, well, it's so difficult to treat cancer. And he laughed. He's like, it's more difficult to treat the common cold than it is to treat cancer. Cancer's the simplest thing in the world.
That's amazing. It's just amazing, phenomenal. It's enlightening. And what it should do, for those of you who were paying attention this show, is it should give you one more reason to stop being afraid.
Oh, right? Such a great point. Because the cancer industry thrives on fear. Mm-hmm. It's always like, oh my God, you've been diagnosed. Oh, panic. You're only going to live 6 months unless you agree to be injected with this chemo that the oncologist makes a fortune on, by the way.
Think about how screwed up this is, Mike. It just hit me. The fear that the medical complex has instilled in parents that you must vaccinate your kid with 72 different vaccines before they're 2 years old. Think about that, 72 vaccines. That's disgusting. Oh. And they're giving your kids the cancer that they will later cure.
Sure they are. They're injecting
quote unquote cure.
Right.
So it's like, man, just say no, people.
Well, and the fear, you really have to have a strong sense of self, which is what Dr. C teaches. But you have to have a really strong sense of self to not be overwhelmed by the fear seduction, because it's easy to fall for the fear of society.
Yes.
And here's an interesting example. So a few years ago, someone I know who was diagnosed with cancer, and I forgot if it was liver cancer or something. And he called me up and he said, I've been diagnosed with like stage 2 liver cancer. And I said, okay, that's interesting. So, what's the diagnosis and what are your plans and what are you going to do? And here's some things. And after the conversation, he said to me, Mike, you're the only person that I called who didn't say, oh, so sorry, it was nice knowing you.
Wow.
Like you're going to die. He's like, you're the only person I called who didn't immediately think I was going to die. Amazing. Like, well, why would you die? I mean, your body made it. Your body can reverse it. I mean, come on. And guess what? He beat it. The tumor shrank to nothing. His doctors were amazed and, cancer free. Because he did that. Awesome. He did the work himself. But everybody else told him, you're going to die. Even his own family members, his own friends, social circle. Oh, you're going to die. We're so sorry. It was nice knowing you. That's what Dr. C is talking about. Get rid of those losers in your life. Those people who are vampires and suicide cultists,
Yes.
Get rid of them.
Mike, I love that this whole topic came up because, I do my consultations and there has been a general theme throughout most of them, and that is fear. That is people are living in fear. So I will tell you, matter of fact, I have it right here. I have it written down here. I came up with Todd's life fulfillment recipe. Want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
All right. Number 1, it's only 3 things for you to have your life fulfilled. 1, turn off your TV.
Oh, yeah.
That's the ultimate source of fear inducement in us. 2, want what you have. Just don't think about that too much. Think about it later, but just want what you have. It's very powerful.
Like you mean like appreciate the things you already have? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Instead of thinking what you don't have and you have to aspire to make this much money to get that or whatever, look around and just want what you have. It's a mindset.
Yes.
It's a mindset. And the third one is live life locally. And that means you go instead of thinking about the bombs that are dropping in Gaza and everything, while we're sensitive to all of that, go outside, walk down your street and observe your local life. There is a yard, I guarantee you, in your neighborhood that looks fantastic. Next time you pass by that yard and there's a nice lady who's doing her thing out there, why don't you stop and just thank her for the beauty that she's responsible for? That's living life locally. It's like gratitude, and once we arrive at that place to where we're looking with the filter of gratitude around us, not taking downloads from this TV that's just trying to scare the crap out of us and cause dissension in us, I'm telling you, your life will change. It really will.
Absolutely, it will. And that's a great piece of advice. I thought you were going to say, take a walk in your neighborhood and you're going to find a yard that looks really nice, but it's not your yard. So get to work fixing your yard.
You need to violate the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet.
Well, and now your yard, by the way, let's talk about your backyard because you have this amazing food forest.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love about what you do, Todd, is you live what you learn. Like that's a slogan. That's a Todd Pittner slogan right there. Live what you learn. So you don't just take it cognitively. Like
I apply it.
You apply it. And I mean, you hired the guy we interviewed to build your food forest. And
you know what?
What?
I have maybe a 3 or 4 minute recording that I did just this weekend with the thought of you in mind.
Really?
And so I would like to send it to your producers.
Okay.
Maybe they can insert it here.
Let's insert it.
Because I literally just give a quick tour of the food forest and I show it's just fascinating. It is like, I can't believe it was just grass 9.5 months ago, Mike. It's a miracle. It is God's miracle.
Send me that and we'll play it. We'll play it right here. So to my editor, we'll insert it here. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Mike, DTV viewers. Just wanted to give you a quick update. So here are my water catchment containers that catch the water from the roof to feed my food forest, which as hot as it's been, I mean really hot, you can just see how abundant this forest is. To think that this was nothing but grass like this just 10 short months ago is amazing. Look at this banana tree and look at the shade that it's providing the Live and the Life peach tree. He's just down there. He's like, it's hot out. Yeah, not me. I got a buddy. His name is Papa Banana. But I can't even begin to tell you just off the top of my head, like Jim Gale could as he's going by, what all of these are. Turmeric. But yeah, here's a salad bar, herb garden, over here. And just a beautiful day. Look at that back there in the back property. Yesterday, I built another platform for another bee mecca. So you can see way back in the corner there. See that? I have upstairs my second flow hive, which I have built. I'm just staining it now, so I'll get it out here late afternoon. But that's kind of good. And why do I have a second beehive? Because if one is good, two is better. That's kind of my philosophy in life. But here's the pollinators. So this is where all of the bees come, and they just have a ball here. And I love the bumblebees. Obviously, I don't raise bumblebees, but the bumblebees are very special. They're just so huge. But you can just see all of the life if you just kind of focus on it, and you see the bees just flying in and around and about. It's very cool. Here's my only tree I ever planted in my life. This is called Sir Awesome. It's an avocado tree. I don't know if I did the wrong thing. I wanted it to become a tree, so I pruned it up. I think I did the right thing, but we'll see. If not, Sir Awesome, I'm sorry. But here we go, just more. Here's this cranberry hibiscus. You just eat those leaves right off the plant. They're really, really super delicious. And then, man, just all kinds of life. That's what I love about it. It's just life.
Okay, now, Todd, also, thank you for that video. And while I've got you here, let's talk about your website, decentralizeddirectory.com, and what you offer because you're helping people also take back control over their own lives. And I think you want me to scroll down to, what is it? Where is it? Right here?
The key
Click here
partners.
to explore. Yeah.
Click there.
Okay.
Go down to the middle one.
Yep.
And click on that. I will tell you that this is
No, not that one.
if you go to the middle one.
Oh, tax saving strategy. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let me just summarize, because it has been so busy, because people have been paying attention. I have helped so many people, and it's a blast. I mean, literally, there are so many people. We have a Telegram group now called UNA Biz of people who have acquired these unincorporated nonprofit associations, and now they're getting to be quite a community where they come in and they're sharing with each other what they've done and how they're saving money and everything. And I just want to throw this out as a soundbite. I didn't come up with this. This was something a new person who acquired a UNA, after he thought through everything, he came up with this. He said, remember, at a 25% tax rate, if you are a 1099 independent contractor and earn more than $30,000 per year, your first year tax savings will entirely pay for a custom UNA. If you earn $100,000 per year, it's paid for in 3 months. Investing in a UNA, this is what I love that he wrote. Investing in a UNA is a one-time investment. The associated tax savings is a lifetime achievement. And I thought, wow. And then I just started thinking about that as far as decentralization. And it's basically decentralized, protective tax structure is what I help people with.
That's a great description. Yeah, I like that. All right, so folks, that's all at decentralizeddirectory.com, which is Todd's website. And was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, people just go in there, and if they like what they see and they would like to keep more of what they earn, then book an hour with me and I will help you.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. All right, and then what I'm plugging here today, our sponsor, Hakeem from Above Phone, and they've just launched a new notebook computer that it's a Brighteon edition of their new notebook, and it comes pre-installed with our AI large language model.
So cool.
It's so cool. And I had Hakeem in the studio here a couple of days ago demoing this thing. And it was just literally running on the laptop. Now, they have this kick-ass laptop that runs their custom OS called Above OS. It's a flavor of Linux. And they have this Office suite that's an open source, completely free to use, but it's 100% compatible, or nearly 100%, with Microsoft Office, so you can read and write doc files and spreadsheets, Excel, PowerPoint, all that stuff. But it's all like, you don't have to pay any money to Bill Gates or Windows or Apple or Google or anything. This is like open source. And then our language model is installed, so you have a local chat bot. You can ask it any kinds of questions, including how to terminate Terminator robots, as we found out. But you can ask it about health and food and nutrition, recipes, gardening, survival skills, off-grid skills, solar power. I mean, anything you want. It's crazy how much this model knows. Anyway, just go to abovephone.com/Brighteon. And here you can see there's the new Above book right there. And then there's the de-Googled Above phone that they sell as well. And they've got a special going on here through July 11th. There's a special where you can save $100, I think, off the notebook. Or if you get them both together, you can save like $250. I don't know. Check the page for details. But they've got different editions here on sale with our language model installed. And that's Above Phone, Todd. So, Above Phone's been a sponsor for a long time, but now they have this kick-ass notebook. And
beautiful.
They've got the best setup that I've ever seen in this space. So
the next, as I understand, because I've been having sidebar conversations, the next iteration of it's going to come with a gold chain with some toothpaste on it.
Free tube of toothpaste. Yeah, it should. No, but we're gonna keep upgrading the language model that we put on these notebooks to the extent, like, we'll push the limit of what the notebook CPU is capable of doing. Mm-hmm. But we're constantly expanding our Neo language models and releasing them. And by the way, folks, if you just want to download the language model, it's free. You can go to brighteon.ai right here, enter your email address, and you can download every language model we have completely free of charge, non-commercial, open source. This is, one of our gifts to humanity, and it's filled with knowledge that's been censored. And by the way, I think Dr. C would love this because we've trained it on a tremendous amount of alternative treatment information on cancer as well.
That's amazing. Man, just that story broke my heart that, he had all of that IP stolen from him and erased. Man, can you imagine if that was on your AI? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tragedy to lose that much content. Mm-hmm. But the good news is that Dr. C, he's like a content machine. He can recreate it, and it's going to be better because we continue to learn and gain wisdom and experience over time. So whatever he does, it's going to be the best. So
I was thinking of a slogan for him, because he needs so much marketing help, because of his martial art history. It's like, he kicks cancer's ass, and he can kick your ass too. What do you think? Something like that? No.
I put cancer in an arm bar and squeezed. But isn't it interesting that people who excel at martial arts and sports also tend to be successful in other areas of their lives as well.
Right.
I've also found this with musicians, like people who are really good musicians in some way, they also excel in other areas.
Well, there's that element of discipline, right? Self-discipline that usually goes along with someone who's very successful at something. And that discipline tends to carry over.
Yes, true.
It's people who've always amazed me, men women too these days, I guess. But these wrestlers, the old-fashioned wrestling, not the fake wrestling. But these wrestlers that's such a hard sport.
That is hard.
Such a hard sport. And boy, they tend to excel at everything they do.
It helps to be a biological man competing on the women's wrestling team, by the way. That's
that's true.
That's a little shortcut that some people are taking these days.
And I gave that a shot last year, and they still kicked my ass.
Did you? The women wrestlers beat you?
They beat me to a pulp, man. I didn't want to tell everybody, but I'm just coming clean.
Well, I guess if you're a man getting beat by the women's wrestling team, then you probably need to find a different sport, I would suppose. But no, I hear you. No, there are some pretty amazing female wrestlers as well. But, I trained in many years in mixed martial arts and some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, which has a wrestling base, actually, because it's all groundwork. And all the people I train with are just people you don't want to mess with. So incredibly skilled. They're just virtuosos of tying you up with your own limbs. You'll end up with like your leg behind your neck and your arms wrapped up, and it's like, you want out now? You want out now? Tap out. Wow. It's like, what did you do to me? I shaped you like a pretzel, Oh, okay. It's like, I didn't know my joints moved that way. Anyway.
So Mike, I know this will date this, in everything we do is timeless, but we are coming up on July 4th. Do you ever do anything on the ranch that's fun with July 4th other than, shoot real things?
Well,
shoot tanks.
No, maybe I will sight in some firearms or something on the 4th. Who knows? But I try to just actually protect my dogs from all the other explosions that are happening in rural Texas, because July 4th freaks out the animals.
No kidding. Yeah.
So that's a rough one for the dogs. But my dog Rhodey here, he doesn't care about the fireworks because he's been around so much gunfire.
Right.
Anyway, in his training.
Yeah.
Mr. Military Dog. He's snoozing right. Even if I started shooting guns, he's just like, look up, what? Why are you interrupting me? I'm sleeping here. It's like, until you give him the attack commands, it's like, it's none of my business.
Oh man, I do have to say, speaking of fireworks, my daughter is a police officer, and I shared this story with her last Saturday. I was so upset because I've seen my raccoon community dwindle,
Oh.
and it just absolutely broke my heart that I realized why. On Saturday morning, I looked out my balcony and I saw this big bobcat sitting out there licking his chops like it's a predator drive-through, and he's been killing my raccoons.
You think he's been eating the raccoons?
Yes, absolutely.
Whoa. Have you found like raccoon carcasses or anything?
I haven't, but in that forest back there, I wouldn't expect to, But literally, I had 14 raccoons. Now I see 2, and that's it. And these things, so I attribute it to that. But when I went out, because I was going to try to scare them away, I may or may not have a concealed carry or whatever. But I'm not going to say out loud what may have happened, but I was afraid for my life because when I went back there and started yelling, he just crouched down. But anyway, I learned from my daughter, what is lawful is you could throw fireworks at him no matter what time of year it is.
Is that right?
You can shoot fireworks at him, not at him, you just light off a pack of firecrackers and it should scare them away. But yeah. But I also ordered, because of Daniel Vitalis, one of those kick butt. I apply things, Mike.
You do.
When he talked about those kick butt air guns, I have one en route.
Ah, yeah, a high end air, like a pellet rifle with the big compressed air tank. Yeah, those can be quite effective at varmint control.
Right.
But I'm going to comment. I think it's funny. So you built 2 food forests. One food forest for you, and another food forest for the bobcat, basically, accidentally.
Oh, Mike, thank you. Thank you for putting things in perspective.
Okay. Well,
the death of a dozen raccoons is my fault. Gosh, darn it.
I know you were hand feeding those raccoons, and they were like your pets.
They are.
And they were cute little cartoon raccoons. Not the raccoons that I know that shred chickens alive.
Chickens. Right.
If you ever have chickens, you will definitely have a different view of raccoons. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
But it's too bad. It's a shame that any of them were hunted and killed by the predator in your backwoods.
But that's nature. I mean, that's what people are telling me anyway, Mike. But I'm still in mourning. I love those little guys.
Well, next time you get a chance, you're going to have to give those raccoons a little bit of special forces training.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go like full commando with the raccoons. Like,
right.
You can't baby them anymore. It's like, you want food, you got to work for it, soldier, on your feet. And you got to train those raccoons to evade and dive and duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to have each other's back, have their own little
That's right.
pellet guns and waiting in the forest while some go out and eat. Others have their back. Yes.
You want to see my vicious predator animal? Go ahead and
please.
show there he is. There he is, just hanging out.
Hey, Rhodey.
He heard we were talking about him.
Wow.
He's got his toys there.
Never far away from those rings, is he?
No, but watch this. You know how he understands language very well.
Yeah.
Show Rhodey again. Okay, watch this. Hey, Rhodey. Rhodey, where's your toys? Get your toys. Good boy. See? Look at that. See, he's totally paying attention the whole time. Good boy. How you doing there, Rhodey? Yeah, good boy. See that?
That's amazing.
The dude
That's
understands.
So cool.
He's like, he's really listening all the time.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Look at him.
Here he is, right here. He's like, I got the toys. Now what? It better be playtime. You better not have awakened me.
He said this after party better be. We need to go after the after party. Let's go, Dad.
There he is. Hey, by the way, you see we have a new overhead cam. That's
very cool.
Now. Yeah, it's got Zoom on it and everything.
That's so cool.
Good boy, Ro. How you doing? Yes,
thanks, Rhodey.
Good boy. Okay, you can like chill for a minute.
He's so handsome.
Shortly.
That is a great dog.
He is. Maybe we could stick him on your bobcat.
I like that idea.
It's like maybe he could get your bobcat. Who knows?
I like it.
Yeah. It's like a day. Just
Bob,
do patrol for a day on your farm.
Bob, meet Brody. Brody, Bob.
Exactly. All right. Well, anyway, Todd, this was a great show. As usual, we always get off topic here in the after party, but I mean, what a great guest. What a great topic. Very inspirational. And as usual, I really enjoy doing this with you. And I feel really blessed with the caliber of the guests that we keep having.
Oh, it's a blast. And they're going to keep on coming because it's the law of attraction. I think that this show is attracting amazing, amazing, amazing guests, and we're grateful for it.
Absolutely. Yep. I am grateful as well. So thank you, Todd, and thank you, all of our audience, for watching today. And of course, you can catch all of our episodes at decentralize.tv. And most of the episodes are evergreen, so you can watch them at any time. They're all free to view. Hey there, Brody. He's not going to go. He's like, we got to play. But all the episodes are carried on Brighteon.com. And one last thing, I just do want to say that I know you can't currently share Brighteon.com URLs on Twitter or Facebook, but we have filed suit against Twitter and Facebook and Google and YouTube and Meta and a bunch of other groups. We filed that lawsuit in federal court on Memorial Day. And we are suing them for their, government collusion in censorship. So we are working to try to dismantle the censorship industrial complex. And it might take a long time. It might not succeed, but we're giving it
God bless you.
Yeah.
You're taking a swing. That's amazing. Yeah. Good. And I know that is not without expense. So thank you for investing in our freedom. Really, that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. So share the word, folks. And you can also find these videos. We post them on Rumble as well. So you can share Rumble URLs. So if it doesn't work to share Brighteon, you can share a Rumble URL. But thank you for watching. And get our toothpaste. That's at healthrangerstore.com. If we have any left after Todd's purchases. Are you doing like a Vanna White thing? What is that?
I'm doing the Vanna thing. Groovy bee, man. And it has bees on it. So come on.
It's perfect for you. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Do it for my bees, will you?
I love it. Yeah.
You will never, ever want any other toothpaste after one brushing. I guarantee you that. And I'm not even kidding, everybody. I'm not joking. It's true. I never want to not have that toothpaste.
Yep. And we almost didn't get it at all because of the FDA. Imagine that.
Well, that would have been the world's loss.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. You kicked their ass.
We did.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Todd. And,
okay.
It's been fun. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And the lightning didn't cause a problem. That's awesome. And
that's good.
Thank all of you for watching today. Of course, Mike Adams and Todd Pittner here for decentralize.tv. Take care, everybody.
Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
The hurricane that recently blew through Texas caused over 2 million people to lose power in the Houston area. And more people have lost power, throughout Texas and other states as well as this has moved through. Our sponsor, the Satellite Phone Store, has a sister site called BeReady123.com. If you go there, you'll find that they've got power solutions, backup power systems right here. They've got solar generators. They've got storage systems. They've got a survival go bag on top of that, and many other items. Plus, of course, you can get satellite phones and backup communication devices from them. They've made them all affordable with a monthly payment instead of having to buy everything up front with the phones. But if you go there, BeReady123.com, you'll find these systems that I use as backup power systems. And right now, the power grid is less reliable than ever before. It seems like we're suffering more kind of storms or, outages or just cyber attacks on the power grid from time to time. It's always important to have a backup system. These solar generators, you can charge them from the sun. Obviously, they have built-in charge controllers and inverters. You can run small refrigerators off of these if you want to, or even blenders. You can recharge computers or mobile phones or batteries for flashlights or even night vision devices. So this is a really important technology area to make sure that you have squared away for your own personal preparedness and survival planning. Again, just check out the website beready123.com, or you can go to the satellite phone store if you just want the comms equipment, and that's at sat123.com. And thank you for supporting our sponsors. Your own government has the power to activate a kill switch on all telecommunications, instantly shutting down all private phone calls and texts. An EMP weapon or solar flare can achieve the same result. Rolling blackouts or permanent power outages will also take out the power supply to cell tower antennas, rendering mobile devices all but useless. During these emergencies, how do you stay in touch with the important people in your life anywhere on the planet? The answer is the Bivy Stick at sat123.com. The Bivy Stick is a two-way satellite text messaging device that uses a satellite constellation, not cell towers, to send and receive text messages. It works anywhere on planet Earth, including in war zones or blackout areas. In unpredictable times, the Bivy Stick helps you stay connected when it matters most. Visit sat123.com to get one while they're still available.